Life is gonna throw you some curveballs, guys. And when you seem to be trucking along just fine, when everything seems peaceful, in just a matter of moments, all sorts of shit can hit the fan. This is what happened to me recently when everything seems to be going completely on a straight line, right? You know, life got quote unquote stable. But I want to share a story about how my uncle, who lived with me for 18 years, suddenly passed away about a week and a half ago. And in the same week, within a week, I lost one of my best friends. A best friend that I had known since childhood. Someone I really saw as like a true brother. So, my uncle, we didn't know it, but he had cancer in his stomach and in his liver. At first, we thought it was a hernia. You know, he's always been the same. He's always been a drinker, smoker, super nice guy. But he was a heavy drinker, and he smoked a lot of cigarettes. And this was pretty normal for him, you know, and he still looked good for his age. He was in his 60s. He looked normal for a guy that drank and smoked a lot, but he did have a problem. He had an alcohol problem. And this is part of the reason why I say stay away from alcohol and smoking. But he got liver and stomach cancer from this. They thought it was a hernia at first, but one day he was in the house. The next day he had to go to the hospital because of the pain, you know, and the complications he was having. And it's really tragic because he was taken out of the house so fast. And it seemed like he was gonna get out just fine, you know, before we found out it was cancer. He said, oh, you know, I'll be out in a few weeks or a month or whatever. We all expected him to get out of there because he was a real tough dude. He was a world traveler, world explorer, a hunter. He would hunt big game in Africa, and he was a expert fisherman. He would go and fish the blue marlin. That was his job, hunting. That was his literal job, how he made money. Hunting, you know, fishing for blue marlin, the big ass swordfish, you know what I'm talking about? Gigantic, out in the deep sea. And he would hunt all sorts of animals, you know, on land. So on sea, he was an expert fisherman, and on land, he was an expert hunter. And that was his occupation. So he was a badass dude, and he would go all around the world doing this for these rich clients. And he was always there supporting us, protecting my family. And he ended up not coming out of the hospital. One day, probably about a week and a half ago, I came home, and my mother informed me that he passed away in the hospital, which shocked our entire family. You know, you live with someone for 18 years. It's almost like my uncle was my uncle, but he was almost like a father to me. He was like a father figure to me, and seeing him go so fast, and now he's cremated and he's ashes, and he's gone now. And it's crazy, just a month ago, he was in my home, laughing, and then now he's just dust within such a short period of time. Nobody planned on this. Nobody thought this was going to happen to him. So that happened. But he was a tough guy, and he talked to me a lot about life, and talked about him losing people that he loved. It was crazy. A few weeks before he went in the hospital, probably about a month or two before he passed away, his best friend actually passed away. His own best friend. And he kind of went around the same time as his best friend that he's known since shit forever. So now they're in heaven together, and I know that he's in a good place. So that was something that sometimes you'll have people you love suddenly die on you. It could be a brother, it could be a sister, it could be an uncle, a father, a grandfather, a best friend, someone you went to school with. It could be a coworker. But one thing I learned from that experience was appreciate the people that you love, because I know everyone says this, but they could be gone within an instant and you don't know it. One day they could be here, the next day they could be gone. And I'm still in shock over his passing. I'm still in shock. I still haven't accepted it. He lived with us in an apartment in the house. The house has an apartment, it's a duplex. So he lived in the unit next door. So he basically lived with us, but he had his own separate kind of bachelor pad. And it's crazy because his stuff is still all sitting like how he left it the day that he left the house when he died. His cigarette butts are still out on the patio from where he would go out on the patio and he would smoke cigarettes. And he had an ashtray, and those cigarette butts are still there. Some of the cigarettes are half smoked. That's his cigarette butts from literally like a month ago. It's insane. And so right after this happened, I had something I can't share with you right now, but one of my best friends, actually my best friend, right after this happened, did some bad shit. Did some real bad shit. He not only did some really bad things that we found out about, someone who I really loved and saw as a brother. So right after my uncle passed, my own, not my real brother, but a guy that I've grown up with my whole life, a guy that I trusted, betrayed me. I found out he was not really plotting on my downfall, but he did some things that you shouldn't do. He did some horrible things, guys. And my family was involved. A couple of my family members were one of his victims. I can kind of tell y'all a little bit about what happened without saying it, but he was doing some stuff online, gathering photos of women. He had this entire archive of women's nude photos on a revenge porn site. and he was posting it under a anonymous name, sharing photos of girls that we grow up with, girls OnlyFans, girls nude photos that were shared, you know, throughout the community, you know, between these guys. And we didn't even know this was going on, but I guess for years he was saving these pictures. He was building an archive of these photos. It was crazy. There was hundreds of photos and videos. He had revenge porn on there. He had, and not only that, he had creep shots. He had pictures he took of women in public in our area, pictures of their asses, pictures of women that didn't even know that they were getting photos taken of them. And this whole time, I didn't even know this was going on. None of us did. And the traitor part comes from, he had pictures of a couple of my family members on there, female family members, my own best friend, and he knew they were my family. He had photos of them on there, you know, and he's been in our house before. He's met these people before. We've accepted him into our home, into our family. And that whole time he was creeping on my female family members. And to think that your own best friend was doing that. And right before he got caught, this is what's crazy. Another one of these, you don't know how life can change so fast. Right before he was exposed for this, he was over at my house and we ran. We took magic mushrooms together and we went running. This is one of our activities. We would go running. He was one of the only true friends I had after I lost most of my friendships, after I quit smoking weed, after I quit playing video games, quit drinking. I didn't have anyone to relate with. This was like my only friend that I could experience these great experiences with. This guy really was important to me. I loved him a lot. And we would talk about everything from philosophy to music. We would run together for miles. Late at night, we would go running. Me and this guy were really inseparable. And there was a lot of people that didn't like this guy. There was a lot of people that didn't like him. I had a lot of friends that didn't like him. But I always defended this guy. I always defended him. And it's really tragic because I stuck my neck out for him so many times. And recently, so we ran together. One of the best experiences I've had in recent times. We took magic mushrooms together and we ran for 12 miles straight in the middle of the night. Running is one of my favorite things to do. I'm a long distance runner. I do like marathons and stuff. And so does he. He does running. He's into fitness, exercise, just like me. And we took these mushrooms and we just ran for hours. Ran for just straight hours. We connected so much, and we've had nights like that before. That was like our favorite activity together. We would take psychedelics and then we would go running together for hours, and we would talk about life, we would talk about women, we would talk about history, philosophy, everything. We would talk about the past. I went to school with this guy since we were children. We went to school together. We would talk about school. We would talk about our old experiences and people that we knew, and you only get so many childhood friendships in your life. You only get so many childhood friendships that stick, that stay around, or best friends from childhood. And that was one of my most cherished. I really wanted to love this guy. I really wanted to like this guy. I did care about him a lot. I always wanted him to be positive. I always saw a lot of potential in him. And for him to just be exposed as this like complete like creep, you know? And now there's like a manhunt for him. There's all these, he's gonna get locked up. And now the whole town knows about him. He can't go out in public. He's literally on the run right now. My best friend, ex-best friend, on the run. And like, it's just crazy, you guys. Like, it's just insane. He was in my house like a week and a half ago. 2 weeks ago, he was in my house. We're all hanging out. We're all having a great time. We're laughing. We're enjoying each other's company. Taking mushrooms. Having one of the best nights of our life. One of those nights you spend with one of your best friends or your friends, and you're like, damn, I'm so lucky to have someone like this in my life. I'm so lucky to have someone that I can relate with. And then a few days later, you find out that they're a complete weirdo and a creep under the surface. That they have this hidden secret. And now, because of the things that they did, you can't be friends with them any longer, ever again. I can't ever be friends with this guy again. My family hates him now. Everyone I know hates him. It's tragic. It's really tragic. So you can make plans with people. You can settle into a point of comfort. And everything can change in a week. You can lose people that are super important to you within a week. I lost an uncle and a best friend in the same week. Just awful. And now, yeah, I really didn't have many friends, really true friends, before this happened. I considered him one of my true friends. I considered him one of my true friendships. That I enjoyed his presence. I enjoyed hanging out with him. I thought we were gonna be friends for life. For life. Till we were old. And it can all change in a matter of days, in moments. So, this is a bit of a rant video, but I just wanted to share with y'all some stuff I've been going through. But honestly, a lesson I can take from this is I feel stronger. I feel more resilient. I feel tougher. You're gonna feel like a survivor. You've outlasted all these other people. And you really have to take what positive you can from this. Of course, I lost a best friend, but I also... Can you really call them a friend if they're deceiving you behind your back? You know? Am I gonna miss him? Of course I am. Am I gonna miss my fucking uncle? Of course I am. But they're both gone now. Cherish your male friendships, cherish your male family members. It's hard to find guys that you actually click with in this world that are true. All right, later, guys.